Once upon a time, there was a beautiful village, surrounded by green orchards, peaceful fields, and gentle hills. Among all the farmers lived a humble and hardworking man named Hari. He grew delicious apples and was known throughout the village for his honesty, kindness, and simple nature. Everyone respected him, but many villagers believed that Hari lacked business sense. They thought that, although he was a good farmer, he would never become truly successful. Every week, the village market became crowded with farmers and customers, while other farmers proudly displayed their biggest, reddest, and shiniest apples at the front of their stalls. Hari did something completely different. He placed his small and ordinary-looking apples at the front, while keeping his largest and most beautiful apples hidden behind them. The villagers noticed this strange habit and wondered why Hari would not show his best apples first. The other farmers began laughing at Hari. They would point at his stall and say, "Who will buy those ordinary-looking apples when there are much bigger and shinier apples right here?" Some even told him that he would never become rich if he continued selling his apples this way. Hari simply smiled and continued arranging his stall. He never argued with them or tried to prove them wrong. He quietly believed that his actions would speak for themselves. Something surprising began happening. Customers who bought Hari's ordinary-looking apples soon discovered that they tasted incredibly sweet and fresh. They were pleasantly surprised by the quality, and many of them returned the following week to buy more. Soon, Hari began developing a loyal group of customers. Every market day, his apples sold out quickly. The other farmers watched in confusion. They could not understand how the farmer they considered foolish was consistently selling everything before they did. The village chief eventually noticed what was happening. He watched carefully as customers gathered around Hari's stall, bought his apples happily, and promised to return again. The chief was curious, because Hari's method seemed completely different from the methods used by everyone else. One evening, he decided that he had to understand Hari's unusual business strategy. The next market day, the chief approached Hari and asked, "Hari, why do you always sell the ordinary-looking apples first? Wouldn't it be better to display your biggest and most beautiful apples?" Hearing the question, several villagers gathered around them. Everyone was eager to hear Hari's answer. Hari smiled politely and said, "Chief, I would be happy to explain, but I think it is better if you see it for yourself. Please visit my farm after sunset." That evening, as the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills, the chief walked through the peaceful fields toward Hari's farm. The sky was painted with soft evening colors, and a gentle breeze moved through the trees. The quiet journey made the chief even more curious. He wondered what secret could possibly be hidden on Hari's simple farm. When the chief finally reached Hari's farm, he was astonished. He had expected to see a small and struggling orchard, but instead he found a large, healthy farm filled with beautiful apple trees. The branches were heavy with ripe fruit, and workers were carefully picking and packing apples into strong wooden boxes. The farm was organized, productive, and clearly successful. The chief looked at Hari in surprise. Hari then took the chief into a storage room. Inside were rows of neatly packed apple crates. The room was filled with records, notebooks, and letters from customers. The chief picked up some of the letters and saw messages from restaurants, families, schools, and businesses praising the quality of Hari's apples. He realized that Hari had built something much larger than a successful market stall. Hari finally explained his strategy. "People often judge things with their eyes," he said. "When customers see a large and beautiful apple, they already expect it to taste good. But when they see an ordinary-looking apple and discover that it tastes wonderful, they are pleasantly surprised. Their expectations are exceeded. Hari explained that this surprise created a memorable experience. Customers did not simply remember the taste of his apples. They remembered how happily surprised they felt after buying them. Hari opened another crate and showed the chief several long-term supply agreements. Restaurants, hotels, schools, and families had agreed to buy apples from him. Season after season, Hari smiled and said, "I don't sell apples. I build trust." He explained that quick profits might bring a customer once, but honesty and consistent quality could bring that customer back for years. His real success was not the number of apples he sold in one day, but the number of people who trusted him enough to return. The village chief finally understood everything. Hari had never been foolish or lacking business sense. He had simply been thinking differently from everyone else. While other farmers focused on making the biggest impression and earning the quickest profit, Hari focused on creating satisfaction and building long-term relationships. The chief left the farm, deeply impressed by Hari's wisdom. A young farmer stepped forward and apologized to Hari. "We laughed at you because we thought you did not understand business," he said. "But now we realize that you understood it better than all of us." Hari smiled and forgave him. Then he shared one final lesson with everyone. "People may come because of appearances," he said, "but they stay because of trust." The villagers listened carefully, realizing that his words applied not only to business, but also to life. Years passed, and the village became famous for producing wonderful apples. Farmers began following Hari's example and focusing on quality and trust. Instead of quick profits, Hari was remembered as the wisest farmer in the village, not because he argued with those who doubted him, but because his actions quietly proved them wrong. His story became a lesson passed from one generation to another. Moral: don't seek quick applause, build lasting trust. The world may misunderstand you today, but time always reveals true wisdom.